Hello everyone and welcome. Today I'm going to show you how I made this shaped card for episode number 230 of Craft Roulette. This episode featured Leah Lawson as the guest and it aired August 30th. We were to make a shaped card with peacock colors, add the element of tall, and a random XOXO. So I used the Countryside Corners dies to make my card, and I made it on pretty peacock cardstock with peacock colors in the ink colors, and the inside has the XOXO element, and the taller Snapdragon fulfills that element. So to make this card, you use half a sheet of cardstock, score it in half. This is 4 1/4 by 11, and fold it and burnish it real well with a bone folder. And when you do that, you can use the largest Countryside Corner die on the just above the fold line. You see that little bit of daylight between the fold line and the die? That is so it won't cut out the fold. Now I usually run it through the die cutting machine 2 times because it's a double layer of cardstock, and you'll end up with this card. So that's what I used to fulfill the shaped element of my project. Now to make the pretty front watercolory, I use sponge daubers from the ink directly to the paper. So this is the second largest of the Countryside Corners dies, and I use the tallest one, the tallest Snapdragon, and used sponge daubers using shaded spruce. First of all, just dabbed some shaded spruce onto directly on the stamp. Don't worry if it gets a little bit at the bottom. It gives a real nice watercolory effect. I used Azure Afternoon next. Directly on the sponge dauber, directly to your stamp. This gives it a much lighter effect than just inking the stamp up. And besides that, you can get some color variation on it. So that was Azure Afternoon. I highlighted it with a little bit of, what did I use? Crushed curry. So I added just a little bit of crushed curry here and there. It muddies up a little bit, but you can definitely see the different color variations. Now, since this is not that wet, you need to huff the ink by taking it up to your breath and exhaling on it like you are on a cold window. That remoistens the ink enough to stamp, and then you have to keep your fingers crossed, right? So let's see how that came out. I'm holding it here for just a few moments just to make sure that it takes. And it did. Came out lovely. Now I'll do the same thing with the second Snapdragon stamp, starting with the shaded spruce on the little leaves and stem at the bottom. and some more Azure Afternoon. Now I use these colors because the colors came out peacock, and I thought, you know, the teal of the peacock has some blues in it, so I chose Azure Afternoon. And then the peacock's beak has a little bit of this yellowy color in it, so I chose the Crushed Curry. Okay, puff on it by exhaling on the stem to re-moisten the ink. And then crush fingers and let's do it again. Okay, hold it there just for a moment, probably a few moments. I gold embossed the sentiment over the top of mine. And it never ceases to amaze me. Whenever I heat emboss, it's like magic. So I don't do it often enough, but every time I do, I say I'm going to do it more. So if you don't heat emboss, then you could actually use a darker ink over the front of this and it would still come out. Now that's all there is to it. Then you just, after you're finished stamping, you just layer your pieces onto your card and you're finished. So this was my shaped card with peacock colors, tall for this Snapdragon, and XOXO as the random. So I hope you'll join us for Craft Roulette sometime. It airs Friday evenings at 7:10 p.m. with a slideshow, and the actual show starts at, 6:10 Central Time. And then the show starts at 6:30 Central Time on YouTube with host Mary Gunn and a guest. Now I'm going to show you a blooper. Since I had all these things out, I went ahead and made another card, and it came out just as lovely as the first one, except that when I added the inside, look what I did. I added it to the front side of the card instead of the back side. I have done this like 4 or 5 times in the last couple of years, and I keep telling myself I'm not going to do it again, and look what happens. But I'm going to send it anyway because the friend that I'm sending it to will certainly understand and maybe get a laugh out of it. So thanks for joining me today, and join us at Craft Roulette on Fridays at 6:10 Central Time, and you'll have a lot of fun. FUNN, Craft Roulette style. So thanks for joining me. Bye.